Well, take us for example, right? There is no fee that we charge for doing this each and every Sunday. We do it because we absolutely love it. Like I kind of wake up on the Sunday really motivated to like, talk to you about what's going on. It helps me, it helps you, and then it helps the community as well. And it just gives so much, and that's what I love. And as we go through and do these, you do what you love, the money will come.
100%, because what will happen, so firstly, this is our 67th, can you believe that, right? 67 of these, absolutely phenomenal. So you talk about consistency and persistency for 67 Sundays in a row. Now, granted that I have missed a couple earlier on in the year, but for 67 Sundays in a row, we have been here, fronted up, 8 a.m. and given of ourselves. Right, and so that's what it takes. And we're not stopping at 67, but I'm just saying that's the type of thing that it takes. You've just got to keep going. You've got to believe the thing that you're doing. You've got to love the journey. You've got to do it for the reasons that are internal to you, intrinsic reasons, and you've got to stick with it. And I talk about CAPE, the acronym CAPE, which is consistent and persistent effort. Put on your superhero cape and get into it. Sorry, mate, you go.
I know, I really love that acronym. I've seen it a couple of times, and really it's resonating with me really strongly. John says, yes, I am 4 days now not drinking or smoking. Thank you. So that's really good to see. Those little wins along the way, John, and for everyone else, make sure you're celebrating them and acknowledging for yourself. Yes, I did really well. Even if you fall back on one day, but I did really well. So the more you can instill that reward or that thing that I achieved in your head. And I've heard on a video once if you want to know about that, then let me know. But it was about that whole thing is, are you actually focusing on the good things that are actually happening? And they tested this with an American basketball college team. They actually showed them a video of all the good things that they did. And their performance went not focusing all the bad things that they did during the game, but all the good things. Their performance escalated by 30%.
I talk about it.
Focusing on the good things rather than the bad things that they did. So where they needed improvement, but where they actually succeeded and how well they did, so they can visualize that moving forward.
What are the two questions that I get people to ask every day? What's the first one that I get people to ask? What did
I do well?
What did I do well? And there's some science in that. It's not just me making it up like I did the word earlier this session, but there's some science in gratitude. There's some science in happiness, and it's about we have a negative bias, and it's about getting ourselves to be uplifted in a good frame of mind.
We've got Michael says, Tony, it works, but what I'm going to do is much better for me as an individual and the circumstances and my goals. That's from Michael, who said about the 8 years and the 3 years earlier.
Sure.
David says it does take time for me to come to the realization. I must admit I am a slow learner, and sometimes it is a slow learning process. Be careful on the negative things that you're telling yourself, David, I would say. John says, I had 2 bowls of which I had 15 scoops drowned in chocolate topping. So that was a bit of ice cream. Samantha's also come on.
Wow.
And she says, good morning, boys. And Sean says, Luke, are the Eels pivoting? Well, at least they won this weekend, Sean, and not those Roosters losing by 60-0, 60-8.
Wasn't that embarrassing for the Roosters? My gosh, I know Sean's an avid Roosters fan. Oh my God, weren't they given a towel by South?
Well, they're all going to talk about it. It's about next week, right? So see how they go against Penrith. Sean says, as far as our financial plans go, small refinements to achieve to achieve the current plans as we go. But we may add bigger ideas in future plans to look to see if there's anything for us to try. So that's a good one. It's just like, going to that next step and, working yourself up towards it. I started with a basic buy and hold property, and then I ventured into other type of things, and whether it be I've worked on vendor finance, and I've worked on renovations and, potential on development of properties as well. So, land bank sort of situation. So it's upskilling as you go, Tony, rather than, chop, change, chop, change, chop,
And
change.
I was just going to say that is the difference. There is nothing wrong with wanting to constantly make those progressive changes. As you do something, you're constantly just improving. In fact, that's what life's all about. Life's all about growth. It's about learning. This is not what this session is about. This session is exactly as you said. People who do something a couple of times, throw their hands in the air and say, this is too much, or see someone over here. It's like, my strategy is this, but I'm seeing someone over here that's doing a totally different strategy, but geez, they're having some success, and I want to do that thing because I want the success that they're having. Here's the reason that they're having success: because they love what they're doing. They're doing it for the right reasons. They're doing it because there's an internal connection to whatever that thing is. So don't look from an outside point of view and go, oh my gosh, I want what they've got. This is keeping up with the Joneses bit. I want what they've got. It's like, well, but they love what they do.
But people don't truly also, Tony, understand what those people have gone through to get to that stage as well. Like, have they actually spent the last 10 years to get there? Have they actually, spent 18 hours a day or 20 hours a day, whatever it might be, ridiculous amounts of time building relationships and working hard and doing things, to that higher level. So this is where it can come to fruition for people and the realization about what others are doing to get to their success, to their goals.
Well, it's no different to sport, right? So you see the sporting people, whether it be rugby league or whatever the sport is that you follow, and you see them on match day, and the skills are sublime. They're amazing. Some of the tries that I'm seeing scored is phenomenal, or goals being kicked, whatever it might be. But what we don't see is during the week, is the early starts, the late finishes, the blood, sweat and tears, sticking around after training's finished, all those types of things, the hill sprints in the off season, running up sand dunes, whatever it might be.
The media and the mental that comes around it.
Absolutely. And so we only see the good stuff. We only see the stuff on a Sunday, and we go, oh my gosh, isn't that amazing? We don't see all the grind. We don't see that, the people getting up at, let's bring it back to business, people getting up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., doing it because they're driven to do it because it makes a difference for them. It's their calling in life. We don't see that. What we see is, oh, wow, that person's successful. I just want to go and do that thing. And you're doing it all for the wrong reasons.
Samantha says, I was doing this for a long time and finally did it. I think it's around the actual pivoting and rather than doing the chopping and changing, actually having the focus. And Sean says, are the Roosters pivoting? Premiership, what's happening next? He's a funny guy. Sean says, resilience is key, stay on course. Chris says, thank you guys. And John has said also, it's keeping positive thoughts and not letting the negative take over. Absolutely. Gabby's come on as well. And Tony says, go South. And maybe that's one directed to Sean Hayes for sure. And they're playing for the Ron Coote Cup. And obviously South won that on Friday night. Tony, let's get into some of the points. We've gone 29 minutes in and we're finally getting into the This is a record today.
Oh, too funny.
We go through them because we have been answering questions. And
it's been good. It's been very good.
This in general already. But our first point is truly understand why you want to do something. Why don't you highlight that for a second for us?
Well, I just touched on it before. It's about understand why you want to do this. It's your life. It's your goal. It's your journey. Why do you want to do the thing that you want to do? So for me, there's three key elements. The first one is your why. Understand your reason for wanting to do this. If you keep coming back that money's the answer, wrong answer. Right, so it's keep coming up with why do you truly want to do it. The next is get clear on what it is that you want to do, like that's your goal. And the last element is belief. Do you truly believe that you can make this happen? But you want to understand. It all starts with the power of why do you want to do it? Because here's the reality: in any journey in life, in physical endeavors, in your business endeavors, in your relationships, there's going to be rocky roads. There's going to be some turbulence. You're going to get knocked around. If you aren't truly connected to that thing, if that thing isn't pulling you, right? So here's what people do. People try and push. They push their way towards where they want to get to. But when something is your purpose, you're so connected to it, then it actually pulls you towards it. It's like a magnet. And it feels effortless. And even though you have shitty days, and gosh, I have so many shitty days. And in fact, I have shittiness within the shitty days, right? But it just it's another word I made up, but it just pulls you towards where you want to get to. You just keep rebounding because you know that you're meant to be doing something. And so for me, it's about understanding, why you want to do that thing in the first place.
Yeah, so I guess the big one is around the idea of where were we? The why.
You've been
So,
Dr. Doolittle today, eh, mate? You're attracting the animals.
yeah, I know everyone's all around. This is what's happening. It's all good. You know, and I think what Sean is, he said we're chopping and changing today, Tony, which is a big one for us to, you know, really focus on. So he's holding us to account with
Yeah, we are
not
chopping
really
and
having that
changing.
much structure on
But
today.
here's the thing. We're coming back to the course, right? So we may have deviated a bit, but we're coming back to what is our central theme for the day.
Yep, absolutely. The second point was around, do you have focus or are you suffering the shiny?
Say it, mate, you say it.
I keep saying objectiveness.
It ain't objectiveness, I can tell you. It's objectitis. And so here's the thing. So let me say to this. So focus. Shiny objectitis. You're getting it, mate. Yeah. So it's focus is an acronym which stands for follow one course until success. Follow one course until success. That's what focus stands for. Get focused, narrow your focus, stay on track, keep doing the thing that you've got to do, keep figuring out a way when you make mistakes, keep figuring out a way, what can I learn from that, how can I improve, keep going, keep going, keep going. You've got to stay the course.
The third topic that we want to talk about as well is success requires micro speed and macro patience. Do you possess these traits? Gary Vee talks about daily hustle, long-term patience. I'm a big fan of it. It is about doing those things consistently and persistently, effort, wearing your cape each and every day. Are we on it? Are we keep doing it? Are we persistent and consistent with our efforts? This is a big one for all of us. Obviously I do it in terms of my running. I'm doing sit-up challenge. I'm doing some push-ups as well. We're obviously doing it in terms of the Sunday mindset session, keeping that consistent, and it just follows through and it creates something. And you talked about negative points in terms of some people that chopping and changing. I've got a positive one in the influence that is being created on a positive standpoint. There's a guy that over in the US, I met him through the Gary Vee 4Ds event, and on the back of that, he's seen my running, and now he's doing 30 in 30, which is 30 minutes of exercise every day for 30 days. Now, just seeing that type of situation happen, sees the consistent, persistent effort I'm doing, that's flowing through to someone over the other side of the world that I've only connected with for a couple of hours, and then also on social media afterwards. That is amazing. And this is kind of the things that, rather than, the whole chopping and changing, he's going to have that consistent and persistent effort to happen. And these are the good things that happen. So there are people that chop and change, but there are people that stay the course. And we've seen it before. Sean Hayes is a really good example. And I know Gabby's just come on. Really good example of staying and being consistent and persistent in their efforts to actually get the success and make that happen for themselves.
100%, and you've just used an example of someone that you know about. Right? There'll be so many people that you don't know about that are using your example as a wonderful motivator to get them up and running. But it's all around, this whole point was around recognizing that you touched on it before. You quite often wear a shirt on it. It's called patience. Be patient, but be patient for the outcome. Don't be patient for your daily activities. Do your daily activities, like go, like get very, very productive, right? Not busy. We don't want to be busy. There's a distinct difference between being busy and being productive. Busy means I'm doing a whole lot of stuff, but I'm heading off in the wrong direction. And here's the thing with that. I use this analogy all the time, that when we send a rocket from the Earth to the moon, if that rocket's off course by 1%, that rocket misses the moon by 6,709 kilometers, 1% off track. So you can be busy, but if you're slightly off track, then you're just going to end up further off track down the track. So it's about being productive. It's about having everything line up to where you want to get to, but then it's also about being patient for the outcome, patient for the success, patient for the results, patient for the business growth, the sales, the turnover, the losing weight, whatever it might be. I use the example when I lost my weight back in 2015. I was actually doing it was with your sister this week, actually, and I was talking about it. I'd forgotten about this. But I talked about the fact that I did a 12-week challenge, and I could probably do with one again. But anyway, that's a separate story for another day. But I did a 12-week challenge, and I lost 12 kilos in 12 weeks. But what I had to do is I had to take photos of me holding the photo in my undies, and you had to take it at week 0, week 4, week 8, and week 12. And so weeks 0 to 4, I lost a little bit of weight. And weeks 5 to 8, I lost a little bit more. But in weeks 9 to 12, it literally just fell off me. Like the transformation those last 4 weeks was phenomenal. And so for me, it's all around how many of us give up after 4 weeks, right? And I could have given up after 4 and maybe lost a kilo or 2. And I could have given up after 8 and maybe lost another kilo or 2. But because of the work that I'd done on those first 8 weeks, that final 4 weeks, it literally just disappeared. And so for me, it's all around stick with it, trust the process, be patient, but be incredibly productive on the thing that you have to do now, but be patient for the outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a big one for us all to consider. A couple of comments that are coming through. Oh, Clayton's also joined. John says, focus on course until success. That's an interesting one. Sean says, Luke and Tony, making Facebook Lives great again, just like Donald Trump is making America great again.
Do we need to wear the hat, do we? We need to wear the red hat. And
Yeah, Sean's got one, actually, so we won't go there. Other Sean says, I do have to admit that that the same itis when I got a book delivery last week, finished 4 of the 6 books now since last Saturday, almost finished the 5th, but when I got them, I couldn't choose between 2 particular ones on the first day, but once the choice was made, finished it in a few hours, then got straight into another one. So he's a big researcher. David says, I have been busy, but now I want to be productive. So it's a great thing. And Tony's just lost his tripod.
Oh. Sorry, folks.
Bit of wind up in the area. Well done, mate. Any further final thoughts, Tony, before we wrap it up for today?
I just want people to stick with it. I want them to recognise that this is not about pivoting. You can pivot, you can adapt, you can grow. This is not what it's about. It's about when you try something new or when you're trying a new strategy, stick with that strategy. Give it half a chance to discover, is it truly going to be successful or is it not? Don't just try it a couple of times and give up. I see this happen. I see it happen in small business. I see it happen, but in micro, right? I see it happen with sales calls or sending emails or, doing an email nurturing campaign or social media. Hey, I did 5 posts on social media. I got no likes. That social media must be crap. Or I did, 10 phone calls and I got 10 no's. That must be crap. No. It doesn't work that way. Stick with it. And you'll learn. Like I learn every day. You learn every day. I'm constantly challenging myself and I have so many sayings, but one is that today I want to be better than yesterday and tomorrow I want to be better than today. And I'm constantly looking to be, to relentlessly improve and be better in every area of my life. So it's always about improvement. But this is what we're talking about today, is stop chopping and changing, and because you're just going to go around in circles. You'll never progress.
Absolutely, Tony. Great one today. A lot of comments that have come through, so we'll be back answering those a little bit later on today. Tony, thanks so much. Great Sunday morning, and we will talk to everyone soon. So think about your mindset on a Sunday. Make sure that you're working on it on a daily basis, and it will set you up really well for the week ahead.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye. See ya.